Alright y'all, we're outside at my house today. We're going to be doing those smoked ribeye steaks. Just wanted to give you a view of the grill getting flamed up and ready. I'll show you how we're going to smoke those here in a bit. Let's wait till the coals get gray, nice ashy coals, and then we're going to throw our steaks on. But we're also going to put some soaked oak wood chips on it today to get smoked. So stay with us and we'll get started here shortly. And while we're in the house, just wanted to show you the cauliflower roasting away in our toaster oven. It's about halfway done. But again, we'll show all the plating of everything once I get done with the steaks. So next we brought our steaks out. We're going to want to bring them to about room temperature. It might take a little longer than would allow for the grill to be ready, but that's alright. We don't want them ice cold when we put them on our grill. We're trying to get that medium rare medium type temperature on these, and the smoking process is going to start the cook method on it. Once we get them smoked to my liking, then we're going to start searing them off. But right now I'm just trying to temper them out in the normal room temp. Back out showing the grill right now. Just want to show you kind of where we're at with the coals there. They're starting to come along. And then to the side here, I also have my wood chips that are soaking in water. You want to soak them for a good couple hours before we smoke them. And we're going to show you the method to smoking. Once I spread the coals out a little bit, then I'm going to put the steaks on the grill offset from the flame. And then we're going to throw our wet wood chips on there and then shut the lid. Let it smoke that way for a while. And then check it in a few minutes. And if I need to come back and put some more chips on, we'll do that. It's kind of a temperamental way. It's kind of a cold smoke style. We're not really cooking the heck out of the steak this way. Again, that's why I'm going to be searing them off at the end with a hot heat from the grill here. But to start, we'll get them smoking, get a nice essence of oak smoke on there. And for the steaks themselves, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on them. It's going to help that way that when they do get on the grill, it's not going to stick as bad. But you don't want to cover it with too much oil or anything or marinade, because it won't pick up that smoke flavor that well if you do that. So again, just a drizzle of olive oil, spread it out, and I'll do both sides. But this will help it not stick to the grill as much. Alright, back out on the grill here. Just checking our coals once more. Starting to come along there. Got my steaks out here to warm them up just a touch more before we put them on the grill for smoking. And in a bit, I will also drain off the excess water from these wood chips. I don't need them soaking when I'm using them. That'll end up helping put the fire out, and we don't need that. So, we're almost there, folks. We'll get there in just a bit. Alright, so I'm going to use a metal skewer to just kind of spread out the coals a little bit here. They're not quite where we want them, but they're getting pretty darn close. You don't want them completely ashy, because again, we are going to put the wood chips right on them, and we don't want to kill it completely. By the time the whole thing would be ashy, then we'd be probably looking at the coals being almost spent, and we don't want to get to that point. So right now it's coming along pretty good. I'm just going to spread these out a little bit, let them torch up a little bit more, and then we're going to get our steaks on the grill, and we'll show you how we'll be smoking them. I'm also going to show you a little trick that I use, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, but using just a touch of pan spray on the grill itself to also help prevent the steaks from sticking. But we'll get there in just a bit. Alright y'all, coals look just about where we want them. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those the soaked wood chips on top of them, and that's going to start our smoking process. But first things first, we want to get those steaks on the grill. And I'm going to try to point the fat cap kind of to the outside, but again, we're kind of offsetting these steaks right now. We're going to put them on the outskirts, because this is going to start us the smoking process. And then once we get them all smoked up to our liking, then we'll also put on, like I was saying, on the hot heat to get a nice sear on them. So you hear a little bit of sizzle there. I did spray the grill with just a touch of pan spray. Again, you don't want to use a ton, but those steaks are looking really good. And I'm going to add the wood chips now. getting these grates off. And then when I add the wood chips, I'm going to go ahead and hurry up and shut the lid as quick as I possibly can. And that's going to sear in all that smoke. Also, if you put the steaks on a bit too early, again, you're just offsetting them. So I'm taking off just the middle two grill grates, and that'll give me enough room to get those wood chips on there. So I'm just going to grab a bunch with my hand here, and we're going to go ahead and lay them all around, sprinkled out evenly. Just get them right on top there. And they'll start picking up the heat from the coals and then start their smoking process. You can see they're kind of already starting to get a little smoky. So again, real quick, we're going to put our grates back on. And then once those are on, we can shut the lid and it should pick up that smoke. And again, we'll check it in just a bit and see if we need to do it again. But as of right now, that should be a decent amount, starting getting to that smoky flavor we want. And go ahead and close the lid. I also want to make sure that I have this just slightly open, a sliver. We want to get some airflow in there, but at the same time, we don't want it burning out the chips and stuff too quickly. So just a sliver of air for ventilation there. So I just wanted to bring my pan back in and get it wiped down from the old steak. I cleaned it up just so it's be ready for when we do get the steaks off the grill. I'll take you over to the cauliflower here in just a bit and show you how that's coming along. Alright, cauliflower is coming along nicely. It still needs a little bit of time in the toaster oven. And go ahead and get it back in there for about 20 more minutes or so. Just wanted to come out and check the grill, see how much we got smoke coming out of it there. And that's what we want. We want that good smoke flavor. So we're going to let it go till it starts to run a little lighter color on the smoke. And I'll pop that open and take a look and see where we're at on things. Just a little update on the steaks here. Still smoking. We've got some nice smoke coming out of that grill still. But again, I'm not trying to open the lid until I really need to. I did close the flute for a little bit just to let it kind of sear in that smoke flavor. I'm going to open it just for a little relief right now. But yet, like I said, I have yet to open the lid. I want to get as much of that smoky flavor as I can. And again, once the smoke dies down a little bit coming out of the flute and the sides of the grill, then I know I need to pop it open. That should have the amount of smoke we want. And then we'll start moving the coals around, get them nice and hot again, and then we can sear it off. All right, smoke's starting to get a little thinner here. I think I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it for the first time here and see where they're coming along. And again, we were just at about 200 degrees most of this time for about 15-20 minutes or so far. It's a low cold smoke kind of. It's not like super hot over the steaks. So again, we're going to pop it open for the first time, see how they're looking, see if there's anything we need to adjust. But I feel like we'll be coming along to putting it on the hot coals here shortly to get a nice sear on it. Now when we do sear them, we want to be careful not to sear them too hard, too charred, because then that'll take away from that smoky flavor. But let's give this a pop open here and see how it's looking. Oh yeah. You notice the color on these steaks here? They got like a bronzish color to them. Chips are still smoking well. I'm just going to check the temp on these real quick with my finger. It's still pretty rare. Tasting good. So with that smoke still going, we're going to let it rock and roll a little longer and see how long it comes along with the smoke here. And then we'll start searing it off. And once you shut that grill, that should also help with the killing that flame that just flamed up on us. But we'll check them again here in just a bit, and then we'll start our searing. All right, temp's starting to get a little hot here, so we're going to want to check the steaks, make sure they're not overdoing themselves. But we are at about that point where we want to take them from smoke to sear. So we're going to pop it open here. And those wood chips are starting to flame up. That means their smoking properties are just about spent. But we're going to stir it up here just a little bit. Got a little bit more chips there. But we're going to let that flame kind of cook off, or burn off, I should say, the rest of the wood chip. And then once that's kind of burnt off and those coals are back to a coal spot, then we're going to start getting these on the sear. It doesn't need to die down completely, but you definitely don't want the flame that high. So we killed the flame a little bit there. It still might pop up, but we're gonna start moving our steaks to the spots that we kind of need them. We're also gonna still keep them, you know, closer to the edge. We're not gonna go directly over the flame here. But that way also that we can start getting that sear we're looking for. That smoky flavor should be good and throughout. Got a nice cap of smoke on there. So we're gonna shut this lid, start bringing them to temp. Might go get a meat thermometer just to be on the safe side. It's always good to check. I mean, I know how to test a steak by the palm of my hand, but just to get it to right where we want it, I'm gonna go grab one thermometer just so that we can keep a better eye on things.